Good morning. We are out bright and early today. We are going to kayak in Lake Powell. We're going to head up to Antelope Canyon. But we came down to the boat launch. You can see how far up the road it goes. But the lake is actually dropped below the boat launch. I mean, several feet below the boat launch. This lake has lost 30 feet just in the last year alone. So I'm walking to the edge of the boat ramp here. You can see these people have already started. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge for us to get our kayaks in, because we're going to have to carry them down through this big sandy area to the launch. Well, we love a challenge, and this sure is going to be one. Trying to figure out how in the world we're going to get these kayaks down to water level. All right, there goes James carrying my kayak. Hopefully he makes it okay. So far, he looks like he's doing a good job. He thinks this would be easier than trying to carry them both down at the same time. We made it all the way down and into the lake. James should be coming up behind me in just a minute. That was a challenge. James did most of the hard work. There he is. So let's take off. We have about a mile paddle until we get to the canyon, and then 2 miles in the canyon. So it's going to be a whole day out here. Let's go.
Here we are, Lake Powell, kayaking. We're a little ahead of this tour group coming up. Got some waves getting ready to hit. Boats going by. Yeah, that's cool. There's Tammy.
Yeah, this is going to be a beautiful day. Sorrel seems to be hanging in there.
Here we are, floating around on Lake Powell. Right now, it's pretty quiet. We're a little ahead of the group up here. I don't know if you can see them coming up. That's Tammy over there. But it's nice. I think we're heading right over there somewhere to our spot where we go into the canyon. It should be a pretty nice paddle. Let's go.
Well, we've kayaked 1 mile down the river, and here's the canyon that we're going to enter to go back into Antelope Canyon. It is a no-wake zone once we get inside there, but because it's a Monday, it's been very quiet out here on the lake. We haven't seen much boat traffic at all. It's really been a beautiful paddle, and I can't wait to get inside this canyon. I think it's going to be really cool.
I think we got here just in time. I could hear a bunch of sea-doos coming. I can hear them really well. I can't see them yet. Very pretty. Gonna be a nice day paddling. Let's see what it looks like under the water. Well, it's kind of good that we got these other kayakers in here. We can get a little bit more perspective of how big this canyon is. We're probably in maybe half a mile, if that. It's still pretty wide. And boats are allowed in here, but they'd have to go really slow. So far we've just seen paddlers. It's pretty nice. Oh, there's a boat coming up behind us as we speak. Yep. Here it comes. Very cool. Alright. Little tour boat just passed by. Catching back up to Terry. I took the GoPro out of its case because it muffles the sound for one. And I don't think the picture's as good going through that case. I need to clean it real good or keep it cleaner, but so far so good. Wow, I'm surprised that boat fit back here. It's starting to get pretty narrow.
This is pretty cool out here. This is definitely a nice float. So this is where we're gonna go in. This is the end of the kayak. So we're gonna paddle right through here and then put our kayaks up on the sand, and we are going to go for a hike inside the Slot Canyon. So come on, let's go. All right, he made it. Now let's let him.
Give me a second. Get this out of the way.
He'll get this, yeah, and then drag me in.
Drag this all the way in.
Okay.
It kind of stinks right here.
Yeah, it does kind of stink right here. Almost a little sulfury. All right, we've parked our kayaks and we're making our way for a little bit of a hike and to find a place to have some lunch. We're gonna head up in here to the Slot Canyon. All right, we started out walking in the canyon. It's very sandy. And it started out wide, but I hear it gets pretty narrow the further in you get. The sun is beating right down on us right now, and it's warming up pretty quick. So I'm not sure how far we'll make it back into the canyon since we have Zora with us. So, but we'll see. Let's go.
All right, we're doing it. Tammy's snapping some more pictures. Zora's putting along. It's a pretty warm day. There's no breeze. I'd say a couple of years ago, this probably all used to be water. You can still see the barnacles on the sides of this rock here, but there's no other sign of water in here. Sand is pretty dry. I'd say it's been dry for at least a year. But
this is our lunch spot for the day. It's pretty cool back in here. We're gonna pack it up and see if we can't do a little bit more hiking. We have to take off. We're getting a little further back into the canyon. It's a little tough walking in this deep sand. And we've lost our shade. So we haven't made it to the part where it gets really narrow. And I'm not sure whether we're gonna make it. We're supposed to have some pretty high winds today, starting at 3. So we would like to be back before then. So I don't know how much further we're gonna get to hike into the canyon.
okay, we made it up another level. Still pretty sandy. I thought it would be more solid, but there is grass growing up here. But it was still heading down the canyon, or into it. Hadn't got to the real narrow part yet, but it is getting pretty narrow. Narrower the further we go. We're about maybe a quarter mile in since we landed.
Finally some shade.
Made it to some shade.
I think this is probably about it. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to call it quits. I know you can go back about a mile before it's really hard to go any further. But because of the wind, and we have 3 miles to paddle back and then drag our kayaks up that huge hill.
That's going to be a challenge.
We should save some energy. So, all right.
Great though.
This has been cool. We're headed back.
Okay, we're heading back. And the wind is starting to kick up a little bit. So it's probably a good idea for us to be going back now. As much as we'd like to stay out here and go in a little further, it's probably not safe. Well, this is the narrowest part, really, and this is right where we landed our kayaks. And this running water here, a little smelly, probably because the water level's going down, and maybe these barnacles or these, whatever they are, crustaceans, some kind of creatures that are dying off. But it stinks right here. So you can see this is where everybody parks their kayaks. This is a tour group, but they just stack them up.
I'm going to try not to take as much video as I did on my way here. But you're going back, so it's a different view. And it's pretty cool. This has been another really cool adventure. I'd say I've done a pretty good job on this trip of finding us neat things to do. And this is pretty close to the top of the list. This has been amazing.
You hear that? That crow is still following us around. He's been following us since Northern California. You see him up there? Huh. Very strange.
I believe this is the hardest thing that we've done. It's a climb to get out of there. James has made it out with one kayak. I'm going to get the car. Well, that was hard.
That was fun, but that was a lot of work. I won't need to work out again for 6 months or so.
We definitely decided we're too old for this shit.
I say that all the time, but this time
you mean it? Yeah. Hopefully the next place we kayak will have a lot easier launch. Shoo! Let's go back to the RV and have a drink and a nap.
AC on.